I've been wanting to do this episode for a long time, but it's felt really daunting. So I hope that the tips in this video about calligraphy serve you. If you're not using an iPad, you could always use pencil and paper or a Crayola marker and paper. It works just great. You also need a Apple Pencil if you're using an iPad with Procreate, because that allows you to have the pressure sensitivity. If you go to properties, in the Apple Pencil, not the properties, go to Apple Pencil and turn the pressure all the way up. That will allow any brush to be like a brush pen, in the sense that with the changing of pressure, you can change the width of the brush. I'm showing here that you can turn any brush into a brush pen. Usually the streamline is turned up a little bit higher on a brush pen as well. So this is just a random brush in the artistic section. I've never even used it before, I don't think, but it could be like a brush pen if you wanted it to, just by turning the pressure and the streamline up just a little bit. So the brush we're going to be using predominantly today is the brush pen in the calligraphy section. We're also going to be using a little bit of the monoline brush too. So we'll start with monoline. And the step one of learning calligraphy, whether you're doing it on the iPad or not, is practicing your cursive. Finding the ways that all the words connect, or the letters connect together to make a word, and finding your style specifically. This usually comes from trying out lots of different styles that you see. The next option, or the next step, is to just practice letters, adding little flourishes with them if you want to practice that, practicing the letters, and then practicing putting the words themselves together. I'm really utilizing the double finger tap today, if you can't tell. So after we put all the words together, you can then start practicing putting them in different situations and thicknesses and thinnesses, just made up a new word. So now we've got the brush pen, and the next thing you'll practice is light on the upstrokes and heavy on the down. So this is me just writing that out. I sped it up for you so you didn't have to watch forever. I got a little impatient, but then I redid that. So light on the upstrokes means that whenever you're going in the up direction on a letter, you will do a light pressure, so it'll be a thin line. Down pressure is going to be a heavier, so it will be a thick line. Here are just some examples of some letters. So you can see my upstrokes are light and my downstrokes are heavy. Later on in the video, I'll do an example of each letter, both big and small, or capitalized or uncapitalized, so you can get an idea of what each letter will look like. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you can create guides for yourself so that you can practice. You'll make 4 lines, and I'll show you how I messed this one up. So the middle to basically the middle space is where the bulk of your letter will go, or the middle part of your letter. I know that there's official names for these, but again, I'm not professionally taught. So that bottom line, I'm going to make it a little bit lower so that my letters look more balanced. So that top line is basically the allowance for all the tops of your letters. I hope that this makes sense. Again, I'm not great at explaining it, so I'm sorry about that. Here are a couple more examples of that. The drop down reaches that bottom allowance. The tops reach the top part. Showing you a couple of different examples here of how to do a B. So now you can use this same guide to create words rather than just putting random letters on it like I was before. I'll do the word creatively so you can see that there are different ways, and obviously I've got like the tops of my V kind of pops out of it, and then I realized that I think I spelled creatively wrong. Creativity. Oh, it's creativity. I spelled creatively later. So you can see where my T's go up to that top line, my Y went down to that bottom line. And I'm going to do a couple more examples of these just really quick so you can get a better idea of it. So those bottom those letters with the downswings will come lower. F is kind of a weird letter, so be mindful of that because it kind of swings below in some cases, but doesn't in others, depending on what style you're using. This one I'm doing a little bit more crazy flourishes. This is something I'm practicing every day because I'm not amazing at it. There's definitely people who are at a higher level. And this is where I messed up. So creatively is the word I was going for, and I tried to cross the L. So there's the word flourish, and you can tell some of my letters went outside of their scope, like the S was way too big. Another option you can do is do your 4-line guides, but instead of practicing your calligraphy specifically, just practice your cursive using this, just so you can get an idea. So the monoline brush is amazing for that. So you can do the same word, and this one has its streamline turned up, so it makes it look a little bit better. So I chose that one instead. So again, writing that out. I didn't follow all the rules here. I'm not great at following the rules. I just wanted to show that it is an option. Also practicing where certain words like SH, TH, those are often put together in words. So that's an option for you to practice. So step 1 will be practicing your cursive. No worries about the pressure that you're putting on the pen itself. So just worry about doing your cursive. Step 2 is practicing your upstrokes and your downstrokes, having light ups and heavy on the downs, just like these letters here. Step 3, I messed up. I wrote words, but that's actually not the case. The next one is just the letters, and you can practice them separately. And then the last one would be putting them together in words. And if there's certain letters that you hate, practice those first. You might love R's and A's and O's, but you might hate H's and B's. So practice the letters you don't like. Here's an example. You can pause it and take a screenshot if you want. Here's how I do all of the uppercase and then the lowercase. I know that this is so fast, but I didn't want the video to run too long and take up too much of your time because I respect your time. So you can screenshot those. But the biggest tip I have for you is to practice often. Here is me using an option that you can use. So you can sketch it out using just a sketch brush. I'm using the 6B pencil in the sketching section on Procreate. So you can sketch it out, and then once you're done sketching it out, you can lower the opacity of the layer and then just trace over it. So you can go a little bit slower and not worry as much about the design. In the brush, I'm going to use the dry ink pen to make sure the pressure's turned up. I made the size a little bit bigger, and then I still had like 17 bajillion hiccups with trying to find the right size. So finding the right size, try number 8 million. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can have this as an option. That way you're focusing more on the upstrokes and downstrokes and the letters themselves rather than the design of the whole piece and getting distracted by all the different things going on. So I'd say just practice, and I hope that this helped you. Drop your questions in the comments, like, subscribe. I love when you leave comments because it makes me have ideas for future videos. So thanks for watching.